Hello, 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 hello. Today we are finishing up this stuff that we've been working on for 2 fucking weeks. Oh my god, I'm so burned out on this shit. Alrighty. What was I gonna do? Oh yeah, I was opening this up because I thought of a fucking made a list. We have to draw the upstream to downstream diagram for the entirety of the code base. Then build a stack page from that. And then basically we're going to do the clusters right after. So that is the to-do list for today. Essentially that is what I plan on doing. And no more than that, because I need to take a break, dude. It's like I'm burned out, dude. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's so burned out. I have 8% for today. Why is this down there? All right, let's think a little bit about this fucking code base. We're on the cluster step. Before we move forward, there's the last thing I need to do, which is basically I need to... Alright, so first there's the build, right? So like that's the first thing. Image. That equals binaries plus configs plus system d scripts plus engine scripts. That would be Python. So that's the image. Then you have configuration. Init functions. You have the functions. Then you have backend. So this is functions, logic, then layout. Then you have local. Functions, logic. These are threads. Logic thread. And you have layout. Then you have app. You have functions. Per. And that branches off into different sections. I'm just looking up at basically overall fundamental mechanics, right? So it's like we're not looking at like the individual sections. We're looking at the functions for everything. Main app is one thing, right? So this would be tools. Then you have thread. And you have layouts. And that's in relation to the tools. Okay. One more I need to add here is connection. API /SSH/SFTP. I'm so itchy. I don't know why I'm so fucking itchy. So this is the image, connection, init, local setup, main app. Anything else? Alright, so I think I'm ready to start hashing this out here. Okay, so we need to do a couple of, oh yeah, the stack. That's the other thing that we gotta do. The full stack. Fuck, dude. I'm burned out and I don't want to do this, but I gotta do this because I have 8% tokens left. So I gotta use them. Okay. Things. So we gotta build, first of all, some sort of logic flow. No, what's the word I used for that? Yeah, an upstream to downstream. Upstream to downstream map of the entire code base as a single markdown file. Don't start it yet. Let me know what you think about this. Adding it to the wiki. It wouldn't be function level. It would be more like modules. So like, for example, like the image would be one of them. So like the PyOS image, let's say, right? So that would comprise binaries, configs, systemd scripts, then engine scripts, which are like the Python scripts, and then like the API. Stuff like that. That would be one level of it. We wouldn't be going into the actual scripts. It's more of an overview. The finer grain of resolution for that would essentially be the actual wiki itself. You get what I'm saying? So it's like this is more of an overview. When we're not looking for like street names and like house numbers, we're looking at like a map of different regions in a country. That kind of a flow chart, because we're looking for upstream to downstream functionality. That is the purpose of it, not a high level of resolution for everything. Basically, it's something that can be applied as additional context in relation to the wiki itself, which is the street and house numbers. Region level atlas, that's exactly it. Exactly. Yep. Honestly, I think it would live as a different file, a new top level, atlas.md. The files that it calls could be within each module of the stream, but not the actual functions. Let me know what you think about this in terms of upstream to downstream. Upstream to downstream. So you have the image, which have the binaries, the configs, the system scripts, the engine scripts, which are the Python files, and the API tool and stuff like that. But the API tool is not built out yet, so don't add that yet. Then would be connections, functions on the app side. So like API / SSH / SFTP connection stuff. Then would be like the initialization stuff. So like the functions, the logic thread, the layout. Then would be like the local setup stuff, which would be the functions, the logic thread, and the layout. Then, which are three different sections of the module. Then would be like the main app, which would have functions for different tools. So it's like the functions. When I say functions, I mean like the function files, because that's how they're distributed. So it's like back end and front end. So the back end function files of these particular tools, that's like all one region of just the function backend. Then it would, if they're called within a thread, then they'd be pushed into the next section of the module, which would be the thread. And then ultimately, finally, you have layouts, which are the last layer, the lowest downstream layer that you could possibly get to. What do you think about that? Is that overkill? Is that not necessary? Can you propose a overview structure of this in relation to the current repository? Should I swap to Max for this? Run it. All right, this is going to be running for a hot minute. To be honest, this might be running for like 30 minutes or so because it's going to go through literally my entire code base. Okay. All right, I'm going to pause the recording here and I'll be back. Oh Lord, that finished fast. How did it? Woof. Yes. Question 1, yes. Yes. Yes, it should be accurate about it. Fuck, you're right. The architecture is going to change, but yes, for question 2. Question 2. Let's bring down the volume just a teensy bit. There we go. Alrighty, let's see here. Question 3, yes. That technically is a connection. Question 4, correct. That's good. Do that. Question 5, yes. I mean, they technically live upstream though. They're called downstream, but they live upstream. Question 6. That sounds good to me. Do that. Question 7, yeah, that sounds good to me. Yeah, do that up. That's okay. Technically, they live upstream of the main UI and they get called into the main UI, but then again, that's also part of how we're restructuring and re-architecting the actual UI aspect of this. The UI build out. Question 8, I don't quite understand the question. I mean, the Watchdog database lives upstream. It's like within the actual fundamental OS. So I don't understand why the question is there. Can you clarify that one for me, please? Question 8. Question 9. Confirming that one. Question 10. Confirming file name and location. For question 8A, run it. All right. I forgot to start recording this. So basically, they had some feedback here. Questions that it needed answered, so I answered them. That's my response. Well, my response is. The only one I really had questions on, I gave a couple nuances on 5, 7, and then number 8, I needed a response and clarification. Then we ended up going with the schema table, the schema wiki page, like the actual wiki page itself, the status table. So now it's drafting it, and it's going to be a little while, so we'll be back in a little bit. All right. Well, that was actually not. That actually didn't take too long at all. I was expecting this was gonna take like 30 minutes or some shit. That actually was not that bad. Wow. Okay, now the next part, what we gotta do is basically, please double check to make sure that every file inside the repository was included. Wait a second, is that a duplicate? Because SSH utils should not be empty. Page dash name, I don't know what that even is. I would just get rid of those. If they're empty, get rid of them. They might be accidental. I do see like a node inside of Obsidian that is doing something that does exist there that has nothing in it. So yeah, just make sure it's not SSH dash utils that you're deleting, that it is the underscore utils, because that's the wrong one. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Now the next thing we got to do is do the upkeep for that. So we have to add the git push workflow if a new file is created to include it in the atlas. Same with ingestion, if it's a new file that hasn't been ingested before, to include it in the atlas. And then we need to add it to the lint read step. We need to have some sort of workflow for handling the atlas as well. After that, we can call this done. Alright, this will be taking a minute. the fuck is it? Nice, good job. All right, I think that adding it Atlas explicitly to the list explicitly works because it already mentions the other ones as well. So it's like, honestly, yeah, I mean it should have that, right? So it should just be what is the update workflow? Are you talking about like checking the status of it, like the context update? If that's the case, then yeah, include those in there. And then if the wiki request routing should in the ingest should be mentioned. I mean, but it's part of the ingest workflow, not inside of Claude.md. It's part of like the repo_wiki.md git push workflow. It should be in there. Like it should be covered by that. But the update, if like I said, the update one, if it's in relation to like the context update, like what the status of it and stuff like that is, then yeah, that should be added to that list as well. Well, unless it doesn't mention the other ones. If it just has like, if it's like modular, it should be modular in a way that it just like points towards the folder and the stuff in it. If it's not, then mention it specifically. I need that update before we can make that decision, actually. Please. Thank you. No, but I'm saying that I think Atlas falls within ingest, and then ingest should have, like within the repo_wiki, should have the update for the git push workflow. Does that make sense? Please respond. Don't do anything yet. All right. So just double checking here. Lint currently has its own workflow for the Atlas. Then git push is currently covered within the repo_wiki git push workflow. Then ingestion should now have Atlas as well included. Then I believe that's it. Then if that's the case, then we're all good to go here. All right, we're going to continue with the next one. I'm going to clear. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to do a stack page within the wiki where it covers the entire stack of all of the tools that we're utilizing for the entire, like everything, and what their purposes are. I kind of want to save this until after I do the bug fixes because there's major architectural changes that are swapping around, and I kind of don't want to do this right now that I think about it. Yeah. All right, so here's what we got to do now. This is going to be a big one, dude. I don't remember all of the categories of stuff that we covered in the tickets. There are big tickets, small tickets. Some of them are related, others are intertwined. They are linked. They are referenced, thankfully. We have all the referencing, all the cleanup. That was the purpose of that. We need to make clusters. Now, here's the thing. We currently have a cluster step and each of the other steps afterwards for there should be a step 3 forward inside of Ticket Doctor. I think Ticket Doctor workflow is becoming too long, and I think we should move the steps 3 through, oh wait, not 3. 3 is potentially, I think we should keep Ticket Doctor as literally what it is, like the maintenance of the actual tickets. So I think it should be good as is, except we should take the last steps that haven't been developed yet and move them into another file within the ticket work zone folder. Let's start there. Fuck, I forgot to start recording. God damn it. Basically, I forgot to start recording. Alright, basically it ran it. We added it to the fucking the GitHub, the Git push, Git, then the maintenance like lint files, like file for workflow to upkeep the Atlas. Then we added it to the ingestion process as well. So it's covered now. But now what I'm saying is I was gonna do a stack page, but we're doing major architectural changes, so I decided against that. And now what we're gonna do is basically we're gonna make we're gonna take all the rest of the steps within the ticket. So basically from like chunking forward, we're gonna take those steps and make them a separate file within ticket work zone. We're gonna call it ticket organizer.md. And then basically what we're going to do with that is going to organize the tickets into clusters. But following the Atlas kind of logic, this is going to be an overview kind of situation where you're just referencing ticket numbers. You don't actually need to reference the actual contents of it besides the actual category that they cover. This is just a way to organize and cluster the tickets themselves. that's basically what the workflow is going to be encompassing overall. So that's in a nutshell what we're going to be doing next, is just pretty much taking those tickets and we're going to make clusters. And then what we're going to do is create, and the reason how come I did the upstream to downstream atlas is because we're going to use that as a cross-reference to actually figure out the actual order of operations from downstream, from upstream all the way downstream for the entirety of everything that we're doing. And that's why we did that. Architecture, systems. I'm only gonna put a little bit more time into this, to be honest, and then I'm gonna just play video games the rest of the day. To be honest, I'm burned the fuck out. This is day 9 of working every day, so I need a day off, dude. I need it. Even though this is technically still working every day, I'm only gonna put in like 3 hours today, and that's gonna be it. I'm just burned out as shit, dude. I pulled 10 days in a row, 14 days prior. You can see like all the days I've taken off in the last like fucking couple of days. It's actually kind of crazy. Since I started with, let's say here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 28. And then let's say this is 30 here. I've taken 4 days off in the last 30 days, dude. That's not good. And it wasn't even all those. Yeah. Yeah, that's nuts. And since I started this, let's say right here with from that one, we've taken off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 days in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 49 days. I've taken off 1 day a week, basically. 1 day every 7 days. Not good. Not good. That's not a good thing. Alright, this is going to be running for a little bit. I'm going to go to the bathroom. All right. Yeah, let's update Claude.md to include this workflow. But here's the next thing though. It shouldn't be adding the context about the ticket organizer workflow within the ticket doctor. What's the purpose of that? The Claude.md file points to it. That should be how that works. Should have already been, yeah, it's already. Awesome. And this is the one from today. This is yesterday and today. This is going to be taking a minute, but essentially that's pretty much what we're doing. We're going to be hashing out the next workflow. I don't think we need the cluster questions, to be honest. It's unnecessary. Cluster ranking is going to be taken out. I think it's just going to be cluster order. Because ranking is going to be based off order. It's not going to be based off anything else. You either do one or the other. Not by importance. Importance is in relation to the actual build. Because it's like you're not going to build something that depends on something else and then not build the thing previous to it. It's like, it makes no fucking sense. So priority list, basically steps 4 through 7 also need to go away. Alright, yeah, this is gonna take a minute. I'm getting fucking super throttled. Alright, we'll wait for a sec. All right, we back. Actually, we should move out of... Fuck, I just realized we should move ticket organizer out of ticket work zone. That's where the files that are being worked on go. That should actually live within the context folder. Fuck. Yeah. It should follow because that's where wiki underscore repo lives. That's where ticket doctor lives. So this would be ticket organizer. It's basically, those are like the workflows that live outside. The folders are the files that are being utilized for the actual work, like the workspaces, the work zones. Fuck, my bad, dude. Please update that and then update the Claude.md that points to it, or any of the other files that point to it. Shit. Hold on, you also asked me a question. I didn't even read it. Honestly, we should remove steps 4 through 7 as well within the actual ticket organizer file, just because it's the relevance, like the questionnaire, all those steps, all that stuff is not going to be necessary, because the priority, even the priority, because the priority is going to be based off of the stream location, upstream to downstream, right? I'm at 94% for the fucking... I have 70% left. So once I hit 100 for this, that's it. It's still doing its thing.
Russian soldiers in Ukraine have to wreck their officers so they get...
Yeah, retune that sentence. Then update the comments that are stale, obviously. Yeah, that should be changed. All right, and now we got to start working on the actual workflow after this. So update that, and then we'll start working on the actual workflow. Alrighty, here we go. Here's what I'm thinking while this is doing this. I'm gonna fucking draw this out. So basically, we'll have cluster names. Proposal. Checks for relevant cluster. Well, how do we do this? Fuck. Hold on a second. 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 We have to think about this. So how do we make it so it checks a ticket, draws a conclusion on a cluster name, but how do we make it so they all meet the relevant name and don't create other clusters that could be conjoined? That is the question. Because it could come up with a name, but it should do it. Well, okay, but all the tickets already have the relevant ticket numbers, the cross-reference tickets. So what if we do this? Cluster proposal, name proposal. So checks ticket. Looks at cross-references. Proposes. Writes. Temp. Cluster name. Okay. So then writes a temporary cluster name. Reads crossref. This is kind of annoyingly challenging. Checks ticket, looks at cross-references, writes temporary cluster name, reads cross-references, checks if crossref, if cluster name is relevant, if yes, add to temp cluster. If no, keep on the side. remove any ticket numbers already assigned are done. Keeps reading until and repeating until all tickets assigned. Then sift. Checks ticket clusters. There should not be any duplicates. Compares ticket clusters, temp cluster name and description. Compares ticket cluster names and compares ticket cluster names and descriptions. Can any be dropped? Merged. If yes, merge. If no, keep. Then, step 3 is order. Order. Upstream. Downstream. In relation to Atlas. By cluster first. Then by task, by ticket / task. Okay. I think I have a solid outline of what I want. Okay, let me go here. Boop, boop. All right, so I think there's going to be 3 major steps to the overall ticket organizer workflow. Number 1 is going to be a cluster name proposal system, or a cluster name system. Sorry. Basically, it's going to check the ticket. It's going to look at a ticket one at a time. It's going to look at the cross references. Then it'll write a temporary cluster name and a description of the cluster name. Then it's going to read the cross-reference tickets again, and it's going to see if it's relevant to the cluster name and description. If it is relevant, add it and does fall under the category, add it to the temporary cluster. If no, keep it on the side. Then after that, it's going to So it's basically it's going to be able to reread it later. So then it's going to add the ticket numbers to the basically the ticket numbers that are already assigned to the cluster are done. Anything that hasn't been assigned, so basically if it was relevant to the ticket but doesn't fall under the cluster, it still needs to be categorized by cluster. So then it's going to keep reading each ticket, going down the list and repeating that workflow until every single ticket is assigned. What do you think of that workflow so far? In relation to my doc, why would it be saying completed socket injection for boot stage config? Completed socket injection for boot stage config. It currently says that on the actual doc login screen. Like, not the application side, but the actual Raspberry Pi headless side. It's kind of weird that it says that. Well, the clusters should be based on... Well, that's the question, right? What should be the fundamental seed values that define something as being a cluster? Fuck, we need to workshop that shit. Fuck. Now, for the second point you made, there should not be any repeats, because once something is placed in a cluster, that's it. In relation to the third point, a ticket with 0 cross-references, that is okay to have its own temporary cluster. These are temporary clusters. These are not the final clusters. There's going to be another step that's going to be sift after this. So it's going to be merging and stuff like that. But it's basically like a maintenance step. That's how come these are temporary clusters. Terminal status. If they're superseded, I mean, it should still be considered inside of the cluster, to be honest. There should be no superseded tickets in all actuality. Like, technically, they are superseded by the fact that the architecture does overwrite them, but they are still relevant to the cluster. because there are still issues that need to be addressed. That's the thing. I think the cluster's name should be built around the upstream, the downstream. So that's in relation to the first question you asked. I think that should be the seed value in relation to what defines a cluster. Would be where they fall within the upstream or downstream kind of flow instead of Atlas. They might not have a file currently, but where they would fit within that category of stuff. Because ultimately that's where we're heading. But I wanted to leave the actual organization of the clusters and stuff like that until then. But I guess this might actually be the perfect point to start that point, to be completely honest. If they were considered and then they were declined as being part of it, then it's totally okay. That it's supposed to work that way. It's supposed to be put to the side so then it could be, when it is addressed individually, that it is, and let's say it does need its own cluster, or let's say that it fits another cluster better, then that's what we want. I agree. The upstream downstream question should be something that we consider now. Please let me know what you think about this first, and let's keep discussing. It's a discussion. Alrighty. Fuck, dude. You see what the whole point of that entire thing was? You see? It's been cooking in here. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Ah, it was worth it. It was worth it. I think having macro and then sub-regions. Absolutely. So like both, I think, to be honest, for question 1. A ticket touching SFTPN. Yeah, where the fix lives. Where, for question 2, where the fix lives. Absolutely. Without a doubt in my mind. That's where it should live. Because that's the direct system that it's addressing. It should be in relation to the exact part. It's like that. That's like the... Remember, like the atlas is the overall regional map. This is a more granular direction. So this would basically be like, yes, downstream stuff is affected. Obviously, technically downstream stuff is affected for everything, but it's irrelevant to the actual fix itself for the ticket. Number 3, the atlas doesn't cover runtime. It covers the entire fundamental. It does cover runtime. All tickets are going to be in relation to this. Literally there's no such thing as a ticket that's the whole point of Ticket Doctor, right? That there is no such thing as a ticket that lives outside of the application or the overall flow of the atlas. That is impossible. It's based on it. If something is a non-app, it should be flagged, and then there should be a question for it inside of the ticket questionnaire section. Because then that way I can cover it, because it shouldn't even be there. Question 4. Cluster name versus description. ¿Cada cuánto? Alrighty, how to answer a question. This Friday, I'm getting my camera body fixed. I cannot fucking wait. Oh my god. What number am I on? Am I at? Question 4. If a cluster equals region, the name is the region. Question 4, I agree with your proposal, to be honest. The sub-region honestly is enough. We can drop the description. I just thought it might help, but we can also potentially be overclogging. And the drift I'm not too worried about, to be honest, because it's only going to exist as long as the tickets exist. And then they're going to get deleted. The clusters as well. Once the entirety of the tickets are done, the clusters get deleted. I mean, there's no point in keeping them. But that's for later. Don't worry about that part. Question 5. I agree with what you're saying. I agree. Instead of doing the cross references, just addressing them as the individual tickets. Yeah, and then doing that as a sanity check for the second step. I was going to do one for sift. Basically like a sift step in between. I believe I answered all the questions and all the points you addressed. Let me know if I left any unanswered. Let me know what you think, and let's continue this conversation. The fuck? All right, let's see what we got. We're not worrying about the SIF step right now. We're not worrying about that step. That's a whole separate step. We're just worrying about the initial clusters. Read what I answered. So I said this is not something that we're building right now. The SIF step is next. That is ratified. Run it. And then after that, we're going to run it. Oh yeah, I forgot to check this. Well, that's exactly my concern, though. If it could be from a system D file or something, because it wasn't doing this beforehand. Could you check any of like the base engine stuff, because it's from the OS and I'm building the OS build. Like the image, it has my own configuration files, my own all that stuff. So can you check there to see if anything would be pulled or be created from that? Is that destructive? Is that something that's broken? Like stuff like that too. My parents are home, I believe. I'm gonna just double check. Yep, they're currently home. And that was. Alright, so then after that, I think we could run it fresh. 3494. That's fine. But you see, that's the thing, though. It's never shown up before, ever. Until pretty recently. Let's update the Claude.md file. Run it. So basically, Ticket Doctor does its own thing, and then Ticket Organizer is its own set of steps. Yeah. Well, I think these shouldn't be. I used the term temporary clusters, but I think this should just be building the clusters. Like, just put them in there already, to be honest. Because if we're gonna do a sift step, then they should just already exist. Oh, fuck. they should just be updating the ticket clusters. No. Wait, should it just be building the ticket clusters right away instead of doing like this? Step 2 for the first part, and then why run it on medium? Why not run it on max? I mean, that's a lot of context that it's going to need to go through. What is step 3 design? Wait, what's the difference between step 2 and step 3 here? Step 2 is the building of the clusters. It's going through, and then, I mean, should I do a context step and then a build step? Is that a better route? I think maybe. But then it's like, if it's doing that, it's still gonna write the notes from what it found in the context step. And it's like, why it's stopping it from literally just building the actual ticket clusters at that point? Because it's just doing it by the actual ticket numbers. It's basically the, and then just like a little description next to it. We should include that in formatting, actually. So the formatting should essentially be the categories, subcategories organized by upstream to downstream as per the atlas. And then it should just be ticket numbers, literally. And then after that, it would be like a little description of the ticket, like, or a title of it, or like a small blurb after, like, it's basically ticket number dash small blurb, ticket number dash small blurb. You know what I mean? It shouldn't really need 2 steps, I don't think, because it's still, it's gonna need to write something, and it might as well just write the thing that it needs to write. It's not like the other ones where it's like gathering context for major edits to the, like, in terms of like lint and stuff like that. It's not like that. Please give me your thoughts on that first, actually. God damn it, I ended up working like 2.5 hours, not too bad. We're at 95%. It's not too bad. We have 5% more left for the week, which is going to reset today at 10 p.m., which is 4 hours away. And we're not going to go into that, though. We're trying to just burn through this. How come I've been burnt? We're getting on max. I'm looking for a reason to stop, dude. I'm so burned out. Like, it's so crazy. I feel myself actively needing to fight against the urge to be like, fuck it, I'm not doing it right now. I'm not doing this today. Yeah. Exactly. We're not worrying about step 3. Step 3 is going to be a fix. But we're not worrying about step 3 right now. We're worrying about step 2. And step 2 is technically step 1 of this ticket creation, right? Organizer, right? What is it thinking about so much? It's taking a minute. The last thing is step 3 is technically step 2, right? Yes, please. Yeah, update the entirety of Claude.md for that particular part. Alrighty. Why would I need a dry run? There's no such thing as a dry run of it. It's just run it, right? That was a thing? Wait. Run step 1 of clustering, please. Before running the clustering first step, I want to double check something. Is it updating here? Oops. All right, cool. Run it. Alright, so that's it for right now. This is going to be running for a hot minute. It should be running for a hot minute. I'm going to stop recording this for now, and I'll be back. fucking crap, dude. God damn it, I stepped on one. God damn it. These beetles, dude, what the fuck? Friend, don't stand underneath my goddamn feet, dude. I don't want to step on y'all. I don't want to fucking... frustrating. No way. Alright, that's pretty much it. It only ran for like 6 minutes. That's crazy. This is literally fucking perfect. This is awesome. Alright, git push. Alright, I'm at 95%. I think that's fair enough. I think that's good enough. I am burned out on this shit. I am pretty much done. Alright, that's pretty much it for today, I think. I'm gonna be stopping this now, and I'm just gonna be playing a video game for the next couple of hours until I go to bed. Probably like the next 3 hours, and I'm just gonna play this video game. I like playing this game. I play it boring because that's just how I play. I pretty much am just like, I like doing repetitive tasks, and Bloodborne, because of grinding, I like grinding because it's repetitive and it calms me down a lot. So that's kind of like, I forgot about that side of Bloodborne, to be honest, and I kind of enjoy that part of it. It's a gross game overall. I fucking don't like the gross characters, the gross stuff, but I bought it and I still haven't beaten it. So I bought it forever ago. I bought it when it first came out, like 2014 or some shit, 2015. And it's a gross fucking game. It is disgusting. It is just vile. But like, I want to play it just because it's like, I bought it, you know. I paid for it forever ago, so it's like, it's a thing that I paid for, and I might as well just fucking beat it. Well, now I have to go and like get out of here. I'm gonna go to the bathroom because I have to go to the bathroom, but like there's all these fucking beetles. There's 16 beetles like this big in my office right now. It's crazy. It's beetle season. And so they're like all over the place, which is a good thing, to be honest. That means that nature, it's doing its thing. It's not, there used to be bigger beetles back in the day apparently, and now there's not as big beetles as there once was, which is a bad thing technically, but they're totally harmless. Like literally they are totally harmless. They're just really big and they make very loud sounds, and they bash against your head because they are so goddamn sloppy when it comes to their flying. They just do not fly very well. So I have to open the door and hope to God that more don't come in. And then I'm gonna come back in and I'm gonna play my game. And that's pretty much gonna be it for today. I think it did a good job. The things did the things. All the cascading systems fucking fell into place today. All that fucking brain farts and fucking like exhaustion and just has been worth it. The last fucking 14 days of my life, 15 days, 16 days, however many days I'm at right now, half a month of my life gone to this thing, this program, this stuff, and I'm just fucking grateful that I did it. and it's actually paid off. Like the ticket system works exactly how I want it. Now I'm gonna basically take this system, and then I'm going to basically take that and then just like organize it into tasks. And I have a to-do list already still that I need to build out, and it's gonna basically build out things that like I'm gonna basically make my own little to-do organizer for different days and stuff like that. And if things don't get done, then it gets pushed back automatically by the AI. I'm gonna put like an LLM schedule situation. I still have to do a scheduling task for upkeep of the overall repository wiki context, but I believe I'm doing this slow. There's other people that have other tools and shit. They pushed them out too fast, in my opinion. I've been working on this one for the better part of 2 weeks, just on this section, and that's just one part of it. I think that I'm a very big fan of like the tortoise and the hare kind of situation. I'm the tortoise here. You know, it's like I'm taking my time with it, and I'm gonna like, it's gonna be worth it. It's just I'm taking my time, and I'm organizing, and I'm really, really trying to like make sure that I do this right. You know, it's not easy. It's very frustrating. You want to hurry up. You want things to just be done already, and it's like, it's frustrating. It's frustrating working with these LLMs because they don't always do what you want them to do. But that's also another thing. I mean, technically, if you got an LLM that was a pure just LLM weights, right? It would not have any of the preset do this, do that, read this, read that, like any of that shit. It's all preset tasks that exist by default, like the default structure of the ingestion of the data, right? So in a nutshell, that technically is what these differentiates a lot of these different companies between their LLMs and stuff they do. I think this is a good thing that I'm going through this because I need to be able to apply this to lesser capable models that have less training wheels, essentially. That's the way that I kind of think of that. Because in all honesty, I want to work with more local models, but I'm also looking into like, apparently the new version of DeepSeek is really good. So it's like, I'm really tempted to literally just cancel this subscription and then pay like $100 a month for like a boss GPU. You know what I mean? And it's like, if it depending on how much render time you get, it's like it's by time instead of like actual tokens and things like that. It's like there's like all these weird aspects to that I just kind of fucking don't like. And so if I could just install like, let's say something like Olama, and then fucking like on a server somewhere, then have access to cloud GPU that is like a boss cloud GPU that could run like fucking DeepSeek, the 700 and whatever the fuck B model that there is out there, then that would be like the most ideal situation. If it turned out to be cheaper than the $100 a month for the fucking Claude, for Claude code, because then I could even tie that, make an API and tie it to Claude code here, and then I'd be using that as my LLM. So that's like another potential, you know. So it's like there's different ways that you could play with this, and I feel like honestly this is something worth considering for the future, because you should only be paying for electricity. You should not be paying per token, especially the way that it does it. I don't like the token system. I don't like it especially because it's not actually tied to a constant. I don't like anything that's not tied to constants, because there's a lot of gray zones, and they call it an estimation and like all this other shit. And it's just kind of weird, to be honest. There's like, it's a lot of weird gray zone area shit that could occur because of that, and I just don't like that. So that's it. Anyway, these fucking beetles are floating around. I'm not sure if you just saw that, but that's the size beetle that we're talking about, in case you just saw it. And I'm just keeping my cool, fucking chilling here with beetles. Beetles don't hurt anybody, so they're just gross and kind of like, not gross, they're pretty, but gross in the sense that they make loud buzzing sounds and are sloppy flyers, just gross fucking animals and just. All right. Anyway, I'm gonna go play a game. I'm gonna go back online in a sec. I'm gonna go to the bathroom, take a bathroom break, and I'll be back. There's so many bugs in here. Holy shit. All right. I'll see you. Three, two, one.